Welcome, guys. This is another mentor sentence edition. I'm going to walk you through those steps that are really important. We're going to start off with the teacher notes. This is where usually you guys would do these notes, but I'm going to once again do them for you. The sentence is usually as soon as I got through the door, I threw myself on my bed and fell fast asleep for a few hours. And so I start off by parsing it. You can see it here. I start off with an adverb, then I have a multi-word subordinate conjunction with as soon as. I is my pronoun. I got, that's an action verb. Through the door, that's my prepositional phrase with my article and my object of the preposition being the door. My next pronoun, I see that comma there. I start off with a pronoun. I threw, again, another action verb. I threw what? Myself, another pronoun. On my bed, another prepositional phrase, on my bed. Conjunction with the end. Fell, I fell asleep. That is a linking verb right there. And there's a fast that tells us how I fell asleep. I fell fast asleep. And then we end off with another prepositional phrase, for a few hours. So always looking for, again, our subjects, my pronoun, I got, I threw, and I fell fast asleep. So I know this is a declarative sentence. It's not an interrogative. It's not a question. It's not exclamatory. And it's not an imperative sentence that is a command. It's a declarative sentence. I also know it's a complex sentence because there are two subject verb or subject predicate pairings. The first one was I got up here, and then it is I threw and I fell. And that actually ends up being a compound predicate where one subject completes two verbs. I threw and I fell. Threw, I already said this, is an action verb, and fell is a linking verb. In terms of figurative and connotative use, I thought of threw. It might be a little bit of a hyperbole, but I think it was primarily chosen because it was a nice homophone. We use the through and through both ways, two different spellings meaning two totally different things. And then the last thing, I felt like there was a little bit of alliteration there. Fell fast asleep for a few hours. Some people might look at the S sound usually as soon as. I could see that as well, but I didn't think that was as important. I did want to highlight this multi-word subordinate conjunction up at the top, as soon as, and that's important that we know that because that's what makes this a complex sentence. Looking at my commas, there are only two commas, and the first one offsets the adverb to start off the sentence. And this is a really good technique to vary the tone and the rhythm of the writing. This sentence wouldn't work if, as soon as I got through the door, I usually threw myself on the bed and fell fast asleep. It just wouldn't sound as good. So we take that adverb and throw it to the beginning of the sentence, and it varies our tone. It changes the rhythm of the writing, but make sure if you choose to do that, you are offsetting it with a comma. And lastly, because we know we have a multi-word subordinate conjunction and a dependent clause, as soon as I got through the door, that can't stand on its own, so you need to put a comma before you start off that independent clause. I threw myself on my bed and fell fast asleep for hours. That, again, compound predicate sentence. The third step that you must do is rewrite this sentence in your own words. And so I said, after coming home every day, I am so tired that I fall flat into bed and pass out for a few hours. I wanted to change it just a little bit. I wasn't really happy with some of the vocabulary I used, but that was my big change. The passing out, felt like it was a different connotation. There is that was the thing. If I might change, I'm so exhausted that I fall flat into bed. That could be a better change. There's some more things that I might do with this, particularly with word choice. That was one thing that I thought we as a group lacked in general, that we weren't really thinking about diction and we weren't, using our synonyms. You guys can definitely do better with that. And the last step, which seems to be the hardest, is where we totally use the structure and we're rewriting it, but we're still going to say something entirely different, but we're using the same structure. So instead of saying usually, I said typically, because I want to start off with an adverb. This as soon as is just a subordinate conjunction. So I just wrote when. And then instead of I got through the door, when I write for students, I did drop this article. That's totally fine. It still has that prepositional phrase. I challenge myself. I use the action verb with different tasks on my bed. Those are two different prepositional phrases. So I challenge myself with different tasks and feel directly responsible. I can't feel that's a linking verb, so I feel responsible, and I threw the adverb in there. I chose an ly adverb instead of fast because it wouldn't have worked for the difficult work. So I again changed just a few article things like that, but kept a lot of it similar. This does follow the exact same structure. If you are struggling to do this, please make sure you contact me. Shoot me an email on Canvas and we can work on that together. Either step 3 or 4. Step 3, where you are rewriting the sentence and saying the same thing. Step 4, where you are using the structure and writing your own new imagined sentence. You should have steps 1 and 2 already finished just by watching this video, and that's why we're okay getting this one day late. Thanks, y'all. Have a good one.